Hey there guys, welcome back to Press for Truth TV. Today is Tuesday, April the 24th, 2012. And for those of you who tuned in yesterday to my video upload, you will recall that I had mentioned that I want to keep an eye on some of the things going on out in Quebec over the next few days as tensions are escalating there. And today I came across an article that would suggest that there are some others out there who also want to keep an eye on some of the things going on in Quebec, namely the Israeli military working in conjunction with a Montreal-based group. This just out from the Toronto Star, the star.com. Unmanned aerial drone being tested in Quebec for civilian uses. Quebec firm CAE has teamed up with Aeronautics Limited of Israel to demonstrate civilian uses for the military drone. An unmanned Israeli-made military drone is buzzing Alma, Quebec. Aeronautics Limited of Israel has teamed up with the Montreal-based CAE Inc. to demonstrate civilian uses for the military drone. And it goes on to say here, much like the use of simulation and training, the use of unmanned systems for a range of civil applications has the potential to enhance safety, increase efficiency, and save money. We look forward to continuing to work closely with aeronautics, regulatory authorities, and potential customers as we demonstrate these capabilities. And the important thing to note here is that, first of all, what are these unmanned drones? And as most people are well aware, they're military aircraft that were originally designed for military use to track enemies and to drop bombs on them. I mean, that's what these machines were designed to do. So it's certainly very troubling when we see them coming over to be used in Canada on civilian populations, because this amounts to the militarization of the police force. This is something I've been discussing for years now, trying to inform people that there is a concentrated effort, an incremental push towards the militarization of our police. And the reason why I have an issue with that is because the police are there to serve and protect the people. That's their main goals and reasons for existing. The military, on the other hand, is all about fighting an enemy, and that is their main objective. So when we begin to see the police, who are to serve and protect the people, and the military, who are there to fight an enemy, and those lines begin to get blurred, then we can see a serious loss of civil liberties. And again, these things happen incrementally. That's why I like the analogy so much of the boiling frog. And you know, you've most likely heard the analogy where if you put a frog into a pot of hot water, it'll just jump out. It'll realize that this is bad news and it'll get out of there. But if you place the same frog in a nice warm pot of water and make it very comfortable, but you slowly and gradually turn up the heat, the change in temperature is imperceptible, and it will not notice that things are getting hotter and hotter and worse until it's just too late and the frog is completely cooked. And that's some of the things that we've been seeing over the last decade or so, at least, as far as the militarization of our police. You can see in even the way they look, they're becoming more militarized, and now we're beginning to see the police are going to be using military equipment as well. And no doubt, this is all being done to monitor civilians, particularly protesters and activists, because there's been such a surge in the last 10 years or so, 5 years for sure, of activists and protesters getting more active and getting out into the streets and confronting globalists where they are meeting. This was, some of you will recall that Luke Rudkowski, founder of We Are Change, It was his organization that really popularized this concept of confronting the globalists where they're meeting all around the world, with a few hundred chapters that they have now, and more and more people are beginning to do that. I remember my first time doing something like that was in 2006 when I went to confront the Bilderberg group, where they were meeting in Ottawa at the Brook Street Hotel, and it certainly felt great to be there, to be able to, as they're pulling in and out of the buildings, to let these guys know that we're onto them and we're working hard to expose them. And speaking of that, news just came out today about the location and the dates for the very next Bilderberg conference that is set to come up very soon. Here's an article out from Paul Joseph Watson. And by the way, guys, if you're new to pressfortruth.tv here and you haven't gone back at some of the archives, some of the past shows, I interviewed Paul Joseph Watson. It's probably a month ago or so now. So if you like his work, you're a fan of his articles, and you want to learn more about him and what makes him tick and what motivates him, go to the daily videos section and look back probably a month or so ago, and you'll find my interview with Paul Joseph Watson. But here is an article that he just put out today. Secretive Bilderberg Group set to meet in Virginia May 31st to June 3rd. Speculation that the location of the Bilderberg Group's annual meeting would be chosen to coincide with this year's U.S. presidential election appears to have been accurate, with the likelihood that the Bilderberg will hold their confab in Chantilly, Virginia from May 31st to June 3rd. Bilderberg's sleuth Gosling notes that the choice of location will virtually guarantee that people flying into the United States to cover the conference will be met with what have now become the normal U.S. pre-World War III fascist custom checks. And it's a very slim chance that I'm going to get to make it down there to Chantilly, Virginia, near the end of May and early June. So if by chance you happen to live close to there and you think you might be able to attend, please do. It's a great thing that you can do to get active in the activist community, is to confront these globalists where and when they are meeting. So if you do get the chance to arm yourself with the greatest weapon in this info war, the camera, and to be present at that meeting to document it, that would be fantastic. I would love to be able to make it down there. Who knows? Maybe something will come up. I'll be able to go, but it's not too likely. So if there's any of you out there who might think you might be able to go, I would strongly suggest you make the effort to try to get out there, because again, I mean, the Bilderberg Group is made up of presidents and prime ministers and media moguls and heads of finance and just people who are really incredibly powerful and influential and truly have the ability to shape the direction of the world. These are the guys who set foreign policies. They decide the price of oil and the price of gold, and they manipulate the housing bubbles, and it just goes on and on. So again, they're going to be meeting in Virginia at the end of May, early June. And if any new info comes out from that, I'll be sure to post it here at Press for Truth TV as it comes in, so you can stay tuned for more info on that. And anyways, guys, that is it for today. I want to thank you once again for tuning in, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Take care.